Hey guys, how's it going? Enrique here. Today we're going to go over the elusive topic of the vampire skull. The vampire skull is basically the human skull, but with little differentiations that basically we can choose. So in this case, I'm going to give it a little more fangs and kind of a more angular look than normal. The first thing I do is I'm going to grab a pencil and put in the lay-in lines. The lay-in is basically a preliminary drawing to kind of hang your details onto before. It's meant to just find the structure, shape, and proportion to everything so that you don't have to go in blind. You can compare this to the same way they put up buildings, in which they put up a simple frame and put the details over that initial frame. How many pencil lines you put in is really going to depend on what kind of drawing you're going to do. If I was doing like a comic book, I would actually put in a full detail. And since it's really just a skull, I can just leave it as is. Using an ink pen, you can use any ink pen from the art stores. Should have some sort of ink pen that tapers at the end. I think the Microns.
The one I have right now is from Japan, but I don't see a lot of difference between this one and some American ones I've used.
So I'm going to go in, the first place I always choose to go in first is the eye. I'm going to go into the eye socket. The skull's not really going to have an eyeball, so it's not going to be a big deal in this drawing, but I want you to keep in mind that the eye socket houses the eyeball. You know, and that'll kind of give you a good idea of what size to make it. The next place I'm going to go into is I'm going to go into the Zygomatic Arch, which is right below the eye. It's basically another word for the cheekbone. The cheekbone essentially is a big landmark on the face, and it's going to show a lot more on the thinner faces as you lose body fat on your face. Right above the Zygomatic Arch is going to be a little dimple that is always in skull drawings. You don't see it on regular faces. But on every skull I've seen, there is a dimple there where muscle groups come together. It's going to be on both sides.
Keep in mind symmetry from the left to the right of the face. In this drawing, the skull is going to be in a 3/4 view, meaning he's looking a little bit off to the right over there. So because of the 3/4 view, because of that, you're only going to see one large side of his face, and the other side is going to be hidden behind him.
Alright, I'm done filling that in. I'm going to draw the parting of the teeth there to start out, and that's going to lead into the rest of the teeth. Looking at the tooth cylinder, they're aiming at me a little too closely. Think of the teeth as a cylinder that you're shoving into a slot. The teeth are going to be placed on a cylinder, so they're going to be overlapping as they kind of go back into space. They're going to hide behind each other, so keep that in mind. Behind the jaw is the beginning of the mastoid process, and that's basically this lump that you see right behind the jaw and under the head. That's a very huge shape in pretty much every skull. I'm going to put in the neck. The neck's going to be a little sci-fi-ish. I'm going to put the top of the spinal column. It's a little more sci-fi-y. I just kind of added some spikes there. After I'm done drawing, I'm going to erase all the pencil marks underneath. I'm going to erase the scaffolding we originally drew to kind of expose and work with the line art that I did. I'm going to actually grab a grayscale brush pen, and it's the same pen I was using before. It's actually just the other side. But you can use any grayscale pen. It's about a 50%, I would guess. It doesn't actually say, but I would say it's about 50% grayscale marker. And I'm going to put in just some small shadows for just some added detail. And I'm going to throw it everywhere, but I'm not gonna put any major forms in the complete shadow. This is just an add-on. And to kind of frame the picture out, I'm going to put some lines as kind of a background decoration that would add to the overall image. And to add to the image, I'm going to put just some quick, design marks in the back. It's really just purely just a choice thing. You can put whatever you want in the background if you like. You can put whatever you want in the background. Alright guys, and that's about it. That's my version of a vampire skull. You can see how closely it relates to a human skull and how that's constructed. I'm keeping a lot of things in mind. And alright guys, that's it for the drawing. That's my vampire skull, and you can see how closely it relates to a human skull. You have to know a human skull to draw variations of skulls, whatever it may be. From this video, please subscribe. There is a lot of benefits to subscribing, and I'm going to put that little marker up now. For any questions or comments, or you're wondering what I did or why I did it, please comment below. I'm trying a new format and it would help me a whole lot. If you have any recommendations on how to improve the video, or you just want to sound off, do it below and I might feature your comment. Thank you. Thank you very much, and have a good day, guys.